what it do, Yankees universe, KOD Nation, stand up, and all you Degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Thursday, December 22nd episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. It's a little special for me. I'll let you know in a little bit why. But before we jump into that, I want to give a shout out to the chat real quick. Mikey Mazda and the 4 Train Express. Mikey Mazda, what it do, baby? Salute, salute, salute. My man Fritz Walters in the building. Mr. Fritz, good morning. How you doing? And of course, my brother, my man Pots and Pans, Jigga Man Porto, what it do? Yankee fans, before we go on, before we continue, just know tomorrow, Friday, on NYY News TV, Get Yanked is coming out with episode 3. We got a lot of things to talk about, especially since Carlos Correa signed with the Mets. So somebody got to get yanked. Whether it's the front office in San Francisco, whoever it is, somebody has to get yanked. And of course, I got my man de la Isla, Anthony Medina's in the building. Anthony. Now, like I said, it's a special episode of the Yankees Morning Brew, right? Because when I first started this show 7 months ago, and I was on YouTube every day, I'd be on Twitter, interacting on Twitter. There was somebody that I came across on Twitter that the young man stole my heart. He became a close friend of mine. I can say he became a big part of the show. So I want to bring back my man Frankie, who was away at college. Frankie, what it do, baby?
What's going on, guys? What's up, bro? How you been?
Hey, what's good, bro? How you been?
I've been great, man. Just been home for a little bit. Thought I would send you a text, hop on today.
Nice,
so
nice.
Obviously it was a big day. We just signed Rodon there. Judge named captain yesterday. So
Yes.
a lot of big things going on in New York with Rodon, with Correa going over to the Mets. Just a lot of big things going on right now. So.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. But first, bro, I just want to say thank you for sending me that text message yesterday. That smile that was put on my face when I saw that text message. But, bro, I hope school's going well.
Yeah,
I hope the family is well. I hope Pops is good, the OG, because your Pops was always somebody that be walking in the background on the stream. But
he was always in the back.
Yeah, like I said, I hope your Pops is good.
Great.
I seen that, because this was the setup that you used to be at, if I'm not mistaken. When
this was the exact.
And I see that they changed things around. They Frankie's gone, so we gotta put some stuff back because Frankie's gone.
Yeah, this is my mom's work desk now.
Nice.
This is her office. I made sure to plug in my PlayStation when I got back.
Of course, that's the first thing you're supposed to do.
Because I said, Mom, I'm taking my desk back. I'm putting my PlayStation back.
But bro, before we continue, before we jump into Yankee stuff, I want to ask you, because it's December 22nd.
Yeah.
With the baseball season around the corner, let the people know, because I know this is something that I hassled you with right before you went into college.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be trying out for your school's team when it comes to baseball, or are we gonna be seeing? Are we gonna see that curveball that you got out on the college
mound?
We're
gonna put in some work. We're gonna go out in the spring, give it a shot.
Nice. Let me know if you have any games or anything like that. I'll definitely drive up there to go see you and stuff like that. But like you said, Aaron Judge was named the captain yesterday, right? Let's just jump right into it, right? With Aaron Judge coming back. He got his contract, $360 million for 9 years. I want to ask you, bro, because ain't no burning an Aaron Judge jersey now. Ain't no throwing an Aaron Judge jersey out. But I want to ask you, when the first news came out, the fake news, I should say, the false reporting, the arson judge, the arson judge.
That was
when that first came out. What was going through your head, and did you speak to your Pops at that time? What was going through your father's head?
Funny. It was I was up at college. It was funny. I was actually filling out like a form because I applied for an internship with the Yes Network. So
congratulations on that. I hope that comes through for you. Congrats.
That'd be fun. So I was filling out a form, like preliminary stuff. And,
Before we go,
yeah.
Mr. Fritz Walter, he said his daughter Marlene is also on the tube. So Marlene, good morning. Hope all is well. Marlene, go ahead, Frankie. My fault, brother.
Yeah, so no worries. It was funny. So I'm filling this out. I sit back, go on my phone for a second, like a person does, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, right when I check my phone out, Arson Judge tweet comes out. I was like, dude, I I close out my tab. I close my tab out. I said, I'm not doing this right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not. If they're gonna do this to me, I'm not. Interning with them for nothing. You know what I mean? So, and I immediately I called my dad. He saw it too, and he was, we talked for a few minutes, and while my dad and I are still on the phone, I see the tweet that says it was fake. Like, Heyman comes out, 6, 7 minutes later and is like, "Oh, I jumped the gun. Sorry." So I was like, "Dude, you gotta be
That's
kidding me
something
right now."
that you don't jump the gun on. That's something that you don't jump the
No,
gun on
Aaron,
because
Aaron Judge just hit 315 with 60 home runs, and you're gonna jump
mhm.
the gun on him signing somewhere the
Yeah,
year
no,
after
no,
having
no.
probably the best year in the modern era that wasn't affected by steroids.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of easy to say that at this point. So, that was just bad mistake. John Heyman, he's one of the best in the game at his job, and for
Hmm.
someone that good of like a reporter for him to mess up that bad is a terrible, terrible look. And about an hour later, that's when Bellinger signed with the Cubs,
Hmm.
and Heyman was the first guy to like tweet it and like post it on Twitter. And I'm like these comments are gonna be ruthless. Every single comment was like, "I don't trust you. You're a liar." You know what I mean?
When he put out the Carlos Rodon news, I had to take a step back because I'm like, I don't believe this man. And with the craziness that has been this MLB offseason, the
Crazy.
arson judge false reporting he came to the Yankees.
Yeah,
Then you had the Carlos Correa thing that happened. I
that
don't know
was
who dropped the ball when it comes to that. He was literally about to have his press conference. They canceled it 3 hours before, and in the middle of the night, Uncle Stevie Cohen
it
came
was it
through.
was I was actually up for some reason at 3:45 in the morning on a
Hmm.
on a Wednesday morning.
The
Got
161 Mafia is in the building. I see you, Texas Buckeye. What it do? What it do? Mr. Blue Gold. He said, Hector, you should get Anzo on the channel. Blue, I had Anzo on the channel one time. I'm going to reach out again to Anzo. Maybe I have him back on before or after the New Year's. Not too sure. Not too sure. But Chris the Flash, I see you, brother. What it do? Good morning. Go ahead, baby. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so God, it was a early Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm awake. I don't know why. I'm just laying there. I see the tweet. I was like, dude, there's no way. You know what I mean? So turns out it was like a medical or something. They didn't like
Mm-hmm.
something on his medical, and then
Apparently,
they,
it
and then
goes
about two
back to
hours
the
later they lost him. It goes
yeah.
back to like
Apparently,
July, I think, like the
yeah,
summer.
apparently it goes back to the back injury that he had
Yeah,
with Houston a couple of years ago. That it's still showing up on his MRI. Now, I'm somebody that, Frankie, you know that I'm dealing with my own back issue from
yeah,
being injured at work and stuff. So this
yeah,
is something that's going to keep on coming up. Now, if you're a Met fan right now, right, you got to be excited because even
yeah.
if Carlos Correa, knock on wood, right, if Carlos Correa doesn't play out that full contract, but he brings you guys at least one championship, you take it. And it
Oh
shows
yeah.
that Steve Cohen is willing to spend money. Shout out to Uncle Tats and the Pinstripe Chronicles. What it do? What it do? LI Yankee King is in the building. LI, my fault. I saw you earlier. My apologies for not acknowledging you. But
Ankle.
also, too, when it comes to Steve Cohen, as a Yankee fan, you have to be super, super excited that Steve Cohen is spending money in this city because that means that Hal Steinbrenner needs to step his game up and
Yeah.
spend that money as well. What's your thoughts on that, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think now a hot dog at Citi Field is going to be probably $37. But I mean, if that's what it takes to light kind of a fire in the ass of the Yankees general management, I think that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them signing, yeah, they lose the Grom, but them signing Correa, them signing
Mhm.
Verlander, I think that's a wake up call because not even a full day after the Mets signed Correa, it comes out that the Yankees are kind of starting to make a push for Reynolds.
Mhm.
So
Well,
Um,
that's the reports that came out that have been coming out last night
yeah,
since about like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. JP Morosi is the first one that I saw reporting it that the Yankees are in heavy talks with the Pittsburgh Pirates when it comes to acquiring Brian Reynolds. But the only holdup that's happening is that Pittsburgh, they want starting pitching prospects, and the Yankees are front loaded when it comes to position players. When it
yeah.
comes to position prospects, what's your thoughts on that going
I
forward?
mean, yeah, we do. We give up a lot of pitching prospects last deadline for the Montas. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, Montgomery, not a prospect, but that's a starter that we might have even given to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Gave up Montgomery to St. Louis in the Bader deal. What else? Gave up a couple starting pitchers in the Montas trade. So, yeah, I mean, we are definitely kind of lacking the starting pitching depth in the minor leagues, but we have a lot of good position players that they would take.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it takes Peraza, whether it takes Volpe, whether it takes Dominguez, I think getting Reynolds, especially after the Mets signed Correa in that early
Mm-hmm.
morning deal the other night, I think that's kind of a necessity to go out and get. Reynolds is a guy that we talked about over the summer
Yes,
on the deadline.
several times. Mm-hmm.
He's a switch hitter, plays a really good outfield. He'll hit you 30 home runs. So, I mean, I don't know what more there is to like. Even if we don't end up trading for Reynolds, an outfield consisting of what I think should be Oswaldo Cabrera left instead of Hicks,
Mm-hmm.
with Bader in center, Judge and Wright, that's already one of the best defensive outfields in
Yeah,
baseball. But if we
yeah.
can trade for Reynolds, I think
Mhm.
that kind of puts us as the front runner as it comes
It
to.
makes us
Yeah,
even better than what you
yeah,
just said. It makes us
exactly.
even better. My hesitation when it comes to putting Cabrera in left field is that Cabrera, he's a super utility guy, right?
Exactly.
That's his
Exactly.
best strength. So I don't want to just stick him at one position and we're just stuck with him at that one position and not being
Exactly.
able to move him around. Before we go continue, I just want to shout out the chat. Let's get the roll call going on. Mr. Mark T, make a good morning, Marky Mark. Hope all is well. Jason Martino is in the building. Jason, what it do, baby? And yes, let's go Knicks and let's go Yankees. Even though the Knicks lost last night, we still got some good hope. My man D's in the building. D's Shannon say, hey, Hector, hope all is well. Hope all is well. Hold on, got a few more. Let me check. These channel sources: Yankees among teams in contact with Pirates on Brian Reynolds over recent weeks. One obstruction is to the trade is that Pittsburgh prefers starting pitching to headline return, and the Yankees' top prospects are position players. Thank you, D. We were just talking about that. When it comes to the Brian Reynolds trade, right? And you name the prospects, the three
Yeah.
big prospects we got when it comes to Volpe, when it comes to Peraza, and when it comes to Jason Dominguez, right? For me, and this is just me, Frankie, you
Yeah.
and I, you can have your own opinion. That's on you, brother.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm hesitant in trading Jason Dominguez. Oswald Peraza, I could entertain a conversation with Oswald Peraza, but Volpe and Dominguez is off the boards for me, right? When it comes to Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds is a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal player. What I don't want to happen is that we trade for Brian Reynolds, and instead of bringing the Brian Reynolds that we saw in Pittsburgh over the past 2 seasons, he becomes Nate McLeod. I'm not sure if you remember Nate McLeod from back in the day when he was with Pittsburgh, but he was a center fielder, young center fielder, batted from the left-hand side, gold glove center fielder when he first came up, and he had a breakout season like Brian Reynolds had a breakout season a couple years ago. One year, I think it was 2008 or 2007, Nate McLeod, he hit 280. He had over 40 doubles and had over 25 home runs. And everybody thought that this kid was going to be the next best thing. Robinson Cano could have gotten you Nate McLeod back in the day. That's how good he was, the thoughts
Yeah.
of Major League Minds. But I don't want us to trade Jason Dominguez away and then Brian Reynolds never lives up to that expectations.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Something that me and my dad talked about a lot is with these contracts like Judge, Correa, all these long-term deals is that you never know how a guy is going to end up. And I feel like that kind of can kind of explain a situation with Reynolds or a situation
Mm-hmm.
even with Dominguez because you don't know how Dominguez will end up either. But at the same time, Reynolds is such a good player that I would be willing to give up one of the three, to be honest. Anthony Volpe is going to be a really tough give up if we send him anywhere, even because I've brought this up on the show. over the summer. When I saw Anthony Volpe, the first time I saw him was in single A. He hit 2 opposite field home runs in back-to-back at-bats, and both of them probably traveled 400 feet plus. Like he's a very talented player, plays the shortstop position really well. So giving up him, Peraza, or Dominguez will be a really tough send-off. But if there's one guy that I want to keep off limits, it would be Volpe. I wouldn't really have that big of a problem giving up Peraza. I would be upset if we give up Dominguez, but to get Brian Reynolds back, I would somehow find a way to be all right with that.
Yeah, no. When it comes to Volpe, right, and Baseball America, they came out with the top 100 prospects in baseball, and if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Volpe is the number one prospect going into the 2023 season. Now, if he will live up to the expectations or stay at number one, that's to be seen. But I just want to shout out the chat as well. My man Joe from the Shift, one of my favorite Yankee channels out there. Salute, salute, salute. Good morning, Joe. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. But he says I'm keeping the Martian. He said your McLeod example is really good. That's Joe. That's why we are both here on the same wavelength. But Jason Dominguez, he's a special player. He's a very special talent. I understand the hustle, right? I understand the criticism when it comes to him not hustling. I get that. Trust me, I get that. He's a kid. He's Frankie's age. He's literally Frankie's age. He's literally Frankie's age. And at the same time, he lost the season because of the COVID lockout, right? Exactly. So he lost the season of development because of the COVID lockout, and he lost that season of development at 18 years old. He was literally 18 years old when he lost that season of development. So going forward, you've seen how he shot up the farm system this year. I'm expecting the same thing going forward. And if I'm wrong, let me be wrong, and I'll live with the egg on my face. But the big elephant in the room, Frankie, we got to talk about it. And people in the chat, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on this. The New York Mets payroll going into the 2023 season is estimated to be $380 million. That's literally more than 100 million more than the Yankees. Hal Steinbrenner, you need to start making some phone calls because Stevie Cohen is leaving you in the dust. Frankie, what's your thoughts on the Mets with their new $380 million payroll? And when you put the luxury tax and the luxury penalties into it, it's looking close to $502 million that they'll spend on their payroll. Steve Cohen wants a championship, and he wants it bad.
That's the exact reason I think a hot dog will be $30 at Citi Field next year.
And Met fans, they'll pay for it. They'll pay for it.
I'll end up going to Citi Field and paying for it too. I know I will. I saw a thing the other day. He's $111 million over the luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's added on money at the back end. He will be paying more money than like 10 major league teams in luxury tax than like 10 major league teams like roster. So he's paying more than off the top of my head. He's paying more in luxury tax than the entire Brewers roster is making. He's paying more in luxury tax than the entire Marlins roster is making. He's paying more in luxury tax than the Guardians roster is making. The Orioles, probably 4 or 5 more teams. I saw it on Twitter yesterday. I forget the exact number, but remember those 4 or 5 teams, he's paying a lot more in luxury tax than those teams are paying in their contracts.
I know it's like Pittsburgh. I know it's like
Pittsburgh,
Tampa Bay, Cincinnati. There's a few other, but it's about like 5 or 6 at the $380 million in Kansas City as well. I forgot Kansas City. So before the $380 million, that $380 million payroll, it's about like 5 major league teams, right? But then when you put it up to $502 million, then it's like about like 10 teams that he's spending more than. And like someone put in the chat, hold on, they just said, in order to make money, you got to spend money. And Steve Cohen knows that. But I got this question I want to throw you away from the chat. He said, D, shout out my man D, let me ask y'all, would Pittsburgh go for Licky, Herman, and Abreu, and one of the prospects from AAA to get Reynolds? Is it possible, or would it be a hard pass? I'm gonna ask you that question first. Frankie, answer it, and I'll answer after you, brother.
I mean, yeah, Licky was DFA'd yesterday to make room for Odon. I saw, so I think he would be out of the question there. But if we give them Herman, who is still a young pitcher, I think he's maybe late 20s, mid
Mm,
20s. If I'm not
mm,
wrong. He's not the oldest guy out there. He's been a good pitcher, past couple years after his incident, his personal incident. He's been a pretty solid pitcher after that. I mean, Abreu is still a really young guy. Reliever, throws hard. If he gets his control down, he could be a really good reliever in the big leagues.
mm.
And if we give them two prospects, maybe three, I don't think that would be a terrible deal. And that could be maybe like a middle of the pack offer. You know what I mean? They can, construct from there. But that would be a pretty good starting point if I'm general manager and I'm sending it over.
Well, yeah, like you said, Licky may not get the deal done, but Herman may be a piece to add into it, but not centering the trade,
Yeah,
right? You center that trade around a Peraza, you center it around an Austin Wells. When you
Austin
look at the
Wells. Yeah,
Yankees pitching prospects, you may have to give up Andy Vasquez.
it's
There's
fine.
some pitching prospects that we have, but it seems like Pittsburgh, that's what they're focusing on, pitching prospects.
Yeah, they need
And
pitching
we
for sure.
traded away our top end pitching prospects at the trade deadline when we got Frankie Montas, and
Yeah,
that didn't work out for us. So
yeah.
maybe there's a way for the Yankees to land Brian Reynolds, but maybe there's not a way for the Yankees to land Brian Reynolds because of the prospects. They may want a big amount of prospects coming back, and if you're Pittsburgh, that's what you're going to have to want. I understand Brian Reynolds came out and said he wants to be traded, but in all reality, Frankie, if you was the GM or if you was the owner of that team, you don't have to trade him.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think he's a free agent in maybe 2 years,
Mhm.
and I don't see them being
That's about
like
it's after 3 more
three.
seasons,
It's
so in
three.
4 years, yeah,
Okay.
four
So yeah.
seasons.
So he's I don't see that being good in the next 3 to 4 years when his contract's up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean. So he'll probably sign elsewhere. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I want to get this deal out as quick as possible, maybe even before the season starts, so that his value doesn't go down. Because I think as of right now, his value is probably at the highest it'll ever get, and they shouldn't try and retain him because he's going to sign somewhere else.
Mhm.
So if I'm them right now, I try to trade him before the season starts because he's at his highest value and they can get the most back for him right now. But that doesn't mean they will, though. I mean, they're kind of known for not being the best organization when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So whether they try and keep him or not, I think they should get rid of him right now because this is the highest he
Mhm.
can be.
Yeah, this is the highest he is at his value right now. Besides last year, I think last year was a bit higher because
Yeah.
of he's coming off of a 300 batting average instead of somewhat of a down season this year. But my man Blue Gold, he said, "How about Randy Arozarena? The Rays are rebuilding." The thing is that it's an in division rival, right? When it comes
Yeah.
to Tampa Bay may try to fleece the Yankees, asking for more prospects because it's an in division rival and an in
Yeah.
division trade. I'm not sure if Tampa Bay are going to be willing to trade with the Yankees. It's just like if the Yankees would decide to trade with Boston. It's an in
Yeah.
division rival. I'm not sure if you trade with your in division rival. That's just me.
Yeah, Randy Rosarena is a good ball player, but he is still kind of young, so I can see him, kind of being the top of that rebuild. But at the same time, I could also see them trading him
Yeah.
because the Rays trade a lot of guys. They trade a lot of guys. Get back prospects, and that's how they've been able to stay relevant over the past couple of years because they're so good at finding diamond in the rough guys. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like any trade, whenever I see a trade by the Rays, I immediately say, "Oh my God, they just fleeced." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Because they're
never
just
I never trust Tampa Bay.
no, because they're so good at doing stuff like that. Like they they could find some 5'4" lefty that's 85 years old and make him somehow be a positive member of
Yeah,
the team.
he'll be an
That's
all-star next season. He'll be an
what?
all-star next season.
Yeah,
He'll be
yeah.
an all-star next season.
He's gonna go 16-3 with the 2.4 ERA, and he's gonna win the Cy Young. That's just the way it goes.
If Tampa Bay calls up your organization and asks you for one of those pitching prospects that you have in your minor league system, you better
I'm
hold on
saying
to
no.
that. Yeah, I'm holding
I'm
on to
saying
whatever
no.
pitching prospect they're trying to trade from, whether it's a reliever, whether it's a starting pitcher. But let me shout out the chat. My man Jay Boogie, the closer, is in the building. Jay Boogie, what it do? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's, my man. And then we have Eric Wallace is in the building. Mr. EY, what it do, baby? My man Li Yankee King has a trade. Li Yankee King comes with always the most amazing trade. Here's a trade that the Yankees should do. He's acquired Gregory Soto from the Tigers. I love that. And then the Tigers acquire Will Warren, Trey Cini, Luis Hill, and Elijah Dunham. Listen, I want the Yankees to go out there and get Gregory Soto, especially with the Mets trying to get the closer from the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah,
The
he's
Mets are
good.
trying to build a solid team. They're not done. They're literally not done. Steve Cohen, he spent $380 million. He don't care. He's trying to go harder. He's trying to trade from Liam Hendricks right now. So they're trying to add to that team. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. But
I was getting a phone call and it came up on my computer for some reason. All right,
oh,
I'm
no
back.
worries, bro. No worries, bro. You good. But yeah, going forward, when it comes to this team, right? First, let's take a step back as Yankee fans. Sometimes our emotion, it gets the best of us, especially seeing when a rival like the New York Mets, they make a great move. So it
Yeah.
gets the best of us. Yankee fans, let's take a step back. Let's acknowledge the fact that one, we got our guy back, Aaron Judge. We got the captain back. He was named the captain yesterday. We got our guy back. Then we went out and got one of the best starting pitchers on the market when it comes to Carlos Rodon. He was probably the second best behind Justin Verlander. A lot younger than Justin Verlander, so we signed him for 6 years. And we signed them from good money too, 162 million. Everybody was predicting about 30 million a season. We signed them from less than what people were predicting. So we have to rejoice knowing that we have Hal Steinbrenner who's willing to spend money, right? In the past, he wasn't willing to spend money, but we have to acknowledge that Hal Steinbrenner is willing to spend money, especially if Steve Cohen is going to go $100 million more on the payroll that they are. So Yankee fans, it's only Thursday, December 22nd.
Yeah.
The season doesn't start next week. This team that we're seeing right now, it's not a finished product. So other moves are going to happen to make this team better. What's your thoughts on that, Frankie, before we continue?
Yeah, we're definitely not close to ending this offseason. Hal said the other day that we're not done before the Rodon deal. He said that, after the Rodon deal, my bad. He said we're not done. I feel like something in me tells me that we're going to sign Ben Gamel and call it an offseason. But something else is telling me that I really believe we can trade for Bryan Reynolds here. I really think that we can. After Correa coming out and signing with the Mets, I really think that that's going to kind of, like I said earlier, kind of light a fire in the Yankees front office. And I really believe that we're going to go out and trade for Bryan Reynolds. I don't think they care what they give up at this point because they don't want to be overshadowed by the Mets, and they really have been this offseason and last offseason as well. So,
bro, on the day that the Yankees were going to have the Aaron Judge press conference and announce him as the captain of the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter was in attendance, right? Willie Randolph was in attendance. You got overshadowed by the Mets signing Carlos Correa. Now, did the Yankees do anything wrong? No, they didn't do anything wrong. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. But at the last second, it literally dropped at 3 a.m. The Mets came, Steve Cohen made a move, and it overshadowed the Yankees yesterday. That can't happen. Now, a lot of people is asking, what would George have done? What would George have done? Listen, if that was George Steinbrenner, right before that press conference with Aaron Judge, it would have been announced that the Yankees traded for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. George, I was talking to my dad last night about everything. Now we were at dinner, and he said, he tells me George Steinbrenner would have never let Carlos Correa sign with the New York Mets. He said that Steinbrenner would have never let that happen. And from what I hear about George Steinbrenner, I wasn't really old enough to really kind of live in the George Steinbrenner era, but from what I hear about George Steinbrenner, I don't doubt that. I really believe that George Steinbrenner would have just never let Correa sign. Another thing is Correa and Lindor is like Derek Jeter and A-Rod. That's how talented I think that side of the infield is. Really, they're on that level of stardom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And also too at the same time, beside they're almost at the same level of stardom. But the difference between Lindor and Correa when in comparison to A-Rod and Jeter is
yeah,
that Lindor and Correa, they actually like each other and they are actually really close friends.
yeah,
That's the big difference between
yeah,
the two
yeah.
comparisons. But I got LA Yankee King. He got a question. He said, Hector and Frankie, imagine the back end of the bullpen of Clay Holmes, Gregory Soto, Jonathan Lasagna, and Tommy Kahnle.
That would be
You're
incredible.
also forgetting Ron Marinaccio. And where's Ron
Ronnie,
Marinaccio from? Where's he from?
Tom's River, New
He's
Jersey.
from Toms River, New Jersey,
Jose
baby.
Trevino was the all-star catcher. Oh my God, what a blast from the past that was, man.
Yeah, that really was a blast from the past. Oh,
I have a
Mikey
funny.
Caputo is in the building. Mikey
Oh,
Caputo, what it do? We got Frankie back. We got Caputo back. It's just a
oh
party
my
here at the
God,
Yankees
what
One
a
and
day.
Brew. He said, but Caputo said next year I think the Yankees would trade for Manny Machado or Tiny Bank on it. Well, the next offseason that comes up, Manny Machado can opt out of his contract, and he's
Yeah,
most likely going to opt out of his contract. So, Caputo, from your mouth to God's ears, if Steve Cohen is spending money and Manny Machado is a free agent next offseason, the Yankees better sign him to play third base
yeah,
going forward with this
for
team.
sure. I have a funny story I want to say out
Go ahead,
here.
bro. Go ahead, baby.
The other day, my buddy calls me. I'm on my way to work. My friend
Mm-hmm.
Kyle calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, like Oswaldo Cabrera is going to be at this mall, and he's going to be signing autographs." I was like, "Oh my God, no way!" So I leave work early. You know, he sends me the link, so I know he wasn't lying to me. Big letters. It says Oswaldo Cabrera at Palisades Mall, which is 30 minutes from me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's where
I
you went
go
to
to
go surprise those kids. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I went with a couple friends, you know, from high
Dope.
school, about 5 of us. Yeah. We go grab some dinner. We go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We head to this mall. We go to see Oswaldo. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. We're walking around this mall. You know, I have a baseball. I have a hat. I have a sweatshirt. Bunch of Yankees shit on. All of us look like doofuses walking around with baseballs. My friend has a bat for him to sign. Like we all looked like nerds. We look like children. And we're all college kids. We're all 18 and in college. And we're walking on, we're asking, so we're like, we can't find this guy, you know. Walk up to a security guard. We're like, hey, we heard Oswaldo Peraza was supposed to be here, you know, signing. You know, my friend shows him the website they saw it on. He goes, oh yeah, that was canceled. We were like, oh, so we walked around this mall for 20 minutes.
And a bunch of
Probably
Yankee
passed a
gear,
lot of
looking like
good-looking
junior high
girls,
school
looking like
kids.
idiots with bats and baseballs. Just for him to not to be here, like, dude, you gotta be messing with me right here.
No,
So
but it's something that popped up. You know, a friend of the show, Nathan Ramachandra from the NNR Hour. He was actually covering the event with Oswald Peraza. So Nathan has covered a bunch of events this offseason. He covered the Jose Trevino event that was happening in Jersey as well. So yeah. Anthony Torres Rivera is in the building. Anthony, what it do? What it do? Eric Wallace got to dip out to work. EY, thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, my brother, appreciate you. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, what are you doing? Hit the like button for your boys because Frankie is back from school. Frankie, keep it honest with us. Let us know.
yeah.
From a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your ramen, your cup of ramen eating skills while you was away at college? How
11.
much cup of
11.
ramen did
Oh my God. Probably a 12. A lot of ramen has been eaten. It was funny the other night. I was working on a final. Me and my friend, you know, we're on the phone. It's like 3 in the morning. I'm like, you know what? I still got more work to do on this. I'll be up for. I'm hungry. I go to the kitchen. First thing that catches my eye, cup of frickin' ramen. I was like, you know, I have nothing else to cook right now. This will take me 2 minutes. I thought I was done with ramen until I go back. So ended up burning it. And I was like, how after 4 months of eating ramen, how am I still burning it? But it happens, man. It happens.
It happens, bro. It
Yeah.
happens when you become a iron chef of a microwave. Sometimes that
Yeah,
happens once in a while.
it
But
happens.
Jigga Man got a question. He said the real question has Frankie found his wife yet? Listen,
Oh
ain't
my
no
God.
rush for Frankie to get
Ah,
married. All right, let this young man live his life.
right.
Let this young man live his life. But there was a few things going back and forth in the chat. I wanted to get your thoughts on it because
All
Mikey
right.
Mazza and Caputo have been going back and forth. I can't find it. But who would you rather have? Who would you rather the Yankees sign, Manny Machado or Rafael Devers? Now, for me, when you compare both players,
God.
Manny Machado is a well better, hands down,
Yeah,
super exceeds Rafael Devers when it comes to fielding the baseball, right?
me too.
Manny Machado, he's
I
a
agree.
gold glove third baseman, right? When it
But
comes to fielding it, he is miles ahead of Rafael Devers.
yeah.
The only reason I would pivot to Devers and Caputo, don't hate me when I say this, the only reason I would is because Rafael Devers is a left-handed hitter, right? That's the only reason why I would rather have Devers in the lineup than
Yeah.
Manny Machado. Now, would I be happy and fall in love with the idea and the possibility that the Yankees have Manny Machado when he's in the lineup? Absolutely. I would love to have Manny Machado in this lineup. But if
That'd
you
be
ask
cool.
me, who would I rather have? Rafael Devers is about 5 years younger, 4 to 5 years younger, and Rafael Devers hits from the left-hand side of the plate. And
Yeah.
Rafael Devers may be a little bit cheaper than Manny Machado. I'm not too sure, but what's your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, yeah, I agree because one, like you said, he is a lefty playing Yankee Stadium, and two, also like you said, he's so young, and even though he's not, he's not the best third baseman when it comes to defense. I think that's kind of known, but he has so much time to work on it. He's still so young. He's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
It
mean?
feels like he's been around forever, bro. He made his major league debut at like 19. It feels like we've been watching Rafael Devers forever.
Yeah, and he's been killing the Yankees since he was a teenager. So to kind of bring that over to the Yankees, a certified Yankee killer, that would mean the world as a Yankee fan.
Now, one thing about like when it comes to the Yankees and the Red Sox, right? There's always there's been in the past, is it a history of past Red Sox becoming Yankees, right? But there's always been like past Boston Red Sox players that somewhat in their prime that come to the Yankees. Johnny Damon, Wade Boggs, Roger Clemens, etc., etc.
This guy.
But there's never been. Oh, who's that? Who's that? Els. Oh my God, bro. I'm embarrassed that you even have that jersey on, bro. Honestly, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
I brought every single Yankee jersey up to college except for this one, and I left my box of jerseys at college. So I'm like,
you get by with it. You get by with it. And Caputo as well. I love Manny Machado's attitude, and he's great in the clubhouse. 100%.
Yeah.
When it comes to Manny Machado, him going to San Diego, Manny Machado has turned into a veteran and has leadership capability. I'm not sure if anybody thought about Manny Machado in that light before, but Manny Machado in San Diego, he has been a mentor to Fernando Tatis Jr. So
I mean,
from
how
that
good
point
of
of
a
view, I
mentor
agree
has
with
he
you.
been? Fernando Tatis is still riding his motorcycle, breaking his hand, and using PEDs.
So, but Manny Machado can't control some idiot, in the off season. But being that veteran leader in the clubhouse, that's one thing Manny Machado has done. Yankee said, Frankie, I'm sorry, you have to have that awful jersey.
I do not know why I have it. I mean, it's not like a Gallo situation where I was the biggest Joey Gallo fan ever. I just don't know why. I have a reason.
It was an Easter present. That's what it was. It was a gift on Easter. That's what it was, bro.
I have a story behind every other Yankee jersey. Stanton after the trade, Judge. Everyone has a Judge jersey. Gallo. I thought Gallo was God for a little bit. I just don't know why I own a Jacoby. It's small on me. It's like a kid. It's like a men's small. I'm a large in jerseys. It's really kind of hurting me right now. But I don't know why I have it. Really, I really do not know why.
It got some room at the top, but it's a bit tight on the bottom when you start getting to the bottom.
Especially after all the ramen I've been eating, it's getting a little tighter.
Yeah.
Well.
Now Caputo says, imagine the lineup with Manny. It would be disgusting. It would be disgusting. He said Machado wants to play with Judge. That's the word on the street. Listen, like I said, I would love to
Thank
have
God it
Manny
didn't happen
Machado
in
on his
San
team.
Diego.
Thank God it didn't happen in San Diego. You are absolutely right. And also too,
did you see what they offered Judge? It was like 400 million, like
no,
13,403
it was
or
like
something.
it was like 14 years that they offered
It was
Aaron
something
Judge.
like
It was
stupid.
something.
Yeah.
It was 14 years, and then they brought it down to 10 years. But it was 14 years for $400 million. Then they brought it down 10 years for $400 million, and the Yankees came in at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're a San Diego Padre fan, if you're a San Francisco Giant fan, just know this. Just know this. I feel sorry for you this offseason,
I
especially
feel
San Diego, because nobody wanted to take your money. The only person that took your money
Mitch
was Xander
Haniger.
Bogaerts. And that's only because his team didn't want him. That's the only reason Bogaerts took your money. But nobody wanted to take San
I
Diego's
cannot
money.
believe they lost Bogaerts, dude. I really can't.
No, and the thing, bro, what is more shocking is that they lost Bogaerts while at the same time spending $100 million for a player from Japan that never played in the big leagues before.
Yeah.
Granted, I understand Yoshida is supposed to be this phenomenal player, but we never seen him before do it on the major league diamond. We've seen Xander Bogaerts win batting titles with the Boston Red Sox. It's just weird. If you look at it, they traded away Mookie Betts, they traded away Andrew Benintendi, they lost Xander Bogaerts, they're going to lose Rafael Devers. JD Martinez has left that team. So Boston, if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, I feel sorry about you, bro.
Yeah, me too. It's as hard as that is to say, kind of do have to. There's a point where you kind of do have to start to feel bad for their fans. As much as I hate their fans, both Yankees Red Sox games I went to last year, I had some negative experiences with a Red Sox fan. You know what I mean? As much as I hate to say, I feel bad for that fan base. It's kind of getting to a point where you're like, damn, that really sucks. You know what I mean?
Well, they won championships in the past, but this new regime, Art Bloom, whatever his name is, it's Hein Bloom. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of Red Sox fans that's upset. If you guys go on YouTube, look up I Talk Studios. He's a big content creator on YouTube. He's a diehard Red Sox fan.
Yeah, I feel terrible for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, but he did an amazing video breaking down the Red Sox offseason and everything. I recommend watching it because, like Frankie said, he's a great guy and he does put out great content.
Yeah,
and it's somebody that I've interacted with on Instagram and on Twitter. He's been awesome with me. The only reason I haven't been able to have him on the show is because he goes to school in the daytime, and it's hard. It's kind of hard trying to figure that out when I have the show in the morning time. But bro, we got about like 17 more minutes or whatever. Let's just jump into this. LI Yankee King says, Hector and Frankie, would you extend Luis Severino to a 7-year, $140 million contract, $20 million per season?
I want to see what he does healthy.
That's what I was going to say.
I want to see a full year of Luis Severino. You know, he was having a pretty good year last year before his arm just straight up died. You know what I mean? Straight up got dead arm. You know, he was having a good year until that. Came back, did all right. So I want a year, maybe 2 years of 30 to 33 starts from Luis Severino to be able to give him a deal like that. But if he gives us 2 full healthy years and gives us the production that we saw of him last year when he was healthy, you know, have around a 3.15 ERA, over 60 starts through 2 years, I think I would give him a contract similar to that one you proposed.
Me personally, like you said, I have to see him healthy. And honestly, when it comes to Luis Severino, I'm not going past 4 years. I'm offering him a 4-year, $80 million contract. That's all I'm offering for Severino. But Carl said, when did we get Machado? No, we didn't get Machado. We're just talking about the possibility if we were to get Machado next year, how that lineup would look. And Michael Caputo is a big time Manny Machado fan and wants him with the Yankees. So the Yankees got to do everything they can next offseason to make that happen.
Wait, Caputo, I got a question for you. Did you end up giving Hector his money?
No, he didn't. He said, "Oh, I was joking." He said, "I was joking, Frankie." No, he didn't. He didn't give me my money. Don't even bring that up. There was Pokemon video games I wanted to buy off his money. No, but going forward into the season, right, with this Yankee team, let's talk about the
Yeah.
bullpen because I think that's a big part of the team that we have to focus on right now. Yes, left field is the glaring, is the glaring hole.
Yeah.
It's the question mark or whatever. But let's talk about this bullpen. Who are you making the closer going forward? And is it
Oh
a
wow.
closer by committee, or do you have someone in mind that you want closing out for this team?
I want to. Scott Efros won't be healthy, which really kind of stinks because he was
Mm.
kind of turning into that closer last year. He'll still be recovering from Tommy John. I think Marinaccio could definitely be a guy that they use in that role. I mean, obviously Holmes, but we saw last year that Holmes's arm just fell off straight up after the All-Star break, just fell off.
Mm.
There's another guy that I don't know about his future is Chad Green. He's another guy that if we end up
Oh,
re-signing
he's
him,
he's not gonna be able to pitch this entire season because of that
really?
injury. Yeah, he's
Oh
gonna
wow.
miss his entire season.
All right, yeah, he was another guy that I thought could maybe throw into that role, but before he told me that, I didn't know how
Yeah,
long.
no,
His
he's
time
gonna.
was.
It's
So he's
he
done,
pitched.
right?
Yeah, he threw his last pitch with the Yankees last year. I don't even think
Yeah,
another team is going to take a chance on him because how bad that injury is.
yeah. I mean, Britton's not going to be healthy, and
No,
even if he
then
is, I think he's
yeah, the
done.
Yankees are letting him leave. Yeah, he's not going to bring him.
God, dude, I don't know. Chapman's gone, like
Yeah,
officially,
maybe
which
you
is
could
fine. I'm okay with that.
let me know
Um,
your thoughts. For me personally, I would have Jonathan Lasagna being the
yes,
closer.
yes.
Loizaga, I will make
Uh,
Loizaga the closer. Have Clay Holmes be that setup man,
setup
and
guy,
then
because when he came over in that trade before
mhm,
like 2021,
he
he
was a
was lights out
dominant
in the
setup
setup
guy.
role.
Yeah, he was a dominant setup
And he
guy.
was
So
lights out in a setup role with the Pirates too, behind whoever their closer was at the time. It wasn't
mhm.
Bednar. It was a closer before him.
Yeah, it wasn't Ben. I think it was
So
Junior Fernandez who was closing for a
yes,
little bit.
yeah, yeah. So he was a lights out setup man with Pittsburgh. Was lights out setup man when we traded for him. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up?
Oh, gee.
Yeah. So and then he was lights out when he came in for when he came to close in for Chapman last year. So
Mm,
he's a lights out pitcher, but I don't think he's really a closer at this point in his career. But he can definitely be used if they want to platoon closers. Use
mhm.
Marnaccio one day, use him another day. Loizaga got another.
When it comes to this bullpen, I'm really not too concerned, bro, because I think
Yeah,
our bullpen is a lot deeper. Hey, Pops is a lot deeper than what it was last year,
yeah,
especially when you got people coming back from injury. So we
yeah,
talk about Jonathan Lasagna, like I mentioned, right? Then you can look at Clay Holmes,
yeah,
Michael King if he comes back, Wandy Peralta, who was fantastic for us last year,
yeah,
especially in stressful situations. Ron Marinaccio. We brought back Tommy Kaneland. So when it comes to the
yeah.
bullpen, I'm really not too concerned. All the bullpen, or
Neither am
when it
I.
comes to the
No, we
bullpen,
have a
I,
very
I,
stacked bullpen.
I think our bullpen is very stacked. He's a Chapman is now on the contract with Manscaped. Texas Buckeye 1953. That's hilarious. That made my morning. That really made my morning. Li Yankee King, he said, hot take. Yankees will be better if they trade DJ, Aaron Hicks, Donaldson, John Carlos, Wandy, Domingo, and Lou Trevino. Listen, Li Yankee King wants to trade damn near half this Yankee roster to make it better. But when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, I think Giancarlo Stanton, he is happy where he's at with the
Yeah,
Yankees. Now, if he comes out and say he wants to be traded, right, and he waives his no trade clause, listen, I'll be the first one to pay for his Uber to the airport. That's
yeah,
just me. That's just me. But I think John Carlos is comfortable here with the Yankees, and at the same time, his best friend that passed away when he played with the Miami Marlins, Jose Fernandez, wanted to be a Yankee. He was a
yeah,
diehard Yankee fan, and Stanton has talked about it in a bunch of different interviews that a big reason why he came to the Yankees was because his friend Jose
yeah.
Fernandez, and he plays for the Yankees with Jose on his mind. So I don't think Stanton will be willing to give up that no trade clause. He'll retire first before anything. And when you look at his contract, how it's set up, he'll be 38 at the end of it. I don't think
Yeah,
he'll play out his entire contract. He may retire after 36, maybe 37. I'm not sure. But then also, when you look at what Stanton has done in the postseason with this team, why are you going to trade him when he's been phenomenal
exactly.
in the postseason?
Really good postseason hitter. He was really, really good last year before he went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
With that
Pinstripe.
injury that
Oh
they
God, somebody check. I'm sorry. Somebody check on Tats's blood pressure because he's agreeing with Michael Caputo on a take. Go ahead, Frankie.
yeah, he was really good before that mysterious injury he had last year. You know, they said he
Mhm.
would be back within the week and didn't come back for over a month and a half.
Yeah,
So he was having a really good year before that. Was hitting like 270, ended up hitting what was it, like maybe 210? His OPS
220,
was,
something
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
even his OPS was low. I mean, he's another guy. Him and DJ both do really well, and
Mhm.
then 2/3 the way through the year, maybe in 3/4 the way through the year, they get hurt and suck. Just
Now,
the way it goes with the two of them.
I think going forward, Frankie, and correct me if
Yeah,
you don't agree with me on this take, but I think going forward, the Yankees, when it comes to DJ and when it comes to Stanton, instead of playing them 6 days out the week, reduce their at bats, play them 4 times out the week,
yeah,
right? Move them around. The good thing about DJ is that you don't have to just stick him at one position. You
exactly.
can move him to third base. You can move him to first base, right?
Second base, anywhere he can play well.
John Carlos is the same thing. You don't have to just stick him at DH. You can have him
Throw him in
play
left.
left field if you got to move people around and rest some people. So,
I feel like when he started playing the outfield, his offense picked up.
mhm.
But when he came back with that injury, he could only DH because something was bothering him, and that's when he started to fall, kind of fall apart.
Jason Martino, I appreciate you, my guy. You have a blessed day. And if I don't see you before the holidays come, have a happy holiday, Jason. Everybody enjoy your holidays out there, whatever you celebrate, whether it's
Mhm.
Kwanzaa, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whatever you want to celebrate, just happy holidays to you and your family. Go ahead, brother. Sorry about
For
that.
sure. So, last night when me and my dad were talking, we were like, "Who the hell is going to play left field?" I'm scrolling through Twitter. I see an Aaron Hicks tweet. I was like, "Oh my god, Aaron Hicks is going to be no."
No. If
He's.
Aaron Hicks is the left field, I would lose my mind,
I would
honestly.
also lose my mind. I would rather stick me out there in left than
Now,
that.
if the Yankees, when it comes to, because Michael Caputo brought it up, he still thinks the Yankees trade Gleyber Torres, and Mikey Mazza agree with him as well. Listen, I'm gonna need to check all of you guys' blood pressure because you got Tats agreeing with Michael Caputo, you got Mikey Mazza agreeing with Michael Caputo. This is weird. It's very weird.
Oh, what did I miss in the 4 months?
I don't know, Frankie. You come back and everybody's agreeing with Caputo now. But when it comes to if the Yankees, if they decide that they want to trade for Brian Reynolds, if the Yankees are willing to eat half of Gleyber Torres' salary, because when you look at the salary, Gleyber Torres is going to make $10 million next season. Brian Reynolds is going to make $6 million next season. So if the Yankees eat half of what Gleyber Torres is going to make, they can offer a trade package for Brian Reynolds around Gleyber Torres. Because he is a finished major league prospect, hit over 20 home runs last season. Maybe if he's in Pittsburgh, he'll probably have a better season in Pittsburgh. So if the Yankees wanted to eat half of Gleyber's salary, you could center him around a deal for Brian Reynolds, but you still have to include some prospects. Now, I know we all want Oswald Peraza to play shortstop.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to it, I'd rather trade Peraza than Jason Dominguez. What's your thoughts on
Me
that,
too.
Frankie?
I would rather Peraza for me would be the first out of the three-headed monster of prospects I would get rid of. Even though we've seen the most of him in the big leagues, granted it was a short time. He was starting ALCS games. But Volpe is so talented.
Yeah.
Dominguez is still so young. As hard as it is to say, I think you as well as everyone in the chat would rather hang on to all three. But if we want to trade for a Brian Reynolds, that's impossible. And the first guy I would give up in that type of scenario would be Peraza, sadly.
Yeah, and if we pivoted from Brian Reynolds and we decided to take a look at the Diamondbacks for their outfield depth that they got, and
Yeah.
Alec Thomas wouldn't be the worst move to make. He could turn out to being a solid leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He is a future leadoff hitter. He's not a home run hitter. Now they have
Mhm.
another outfield. I think it's Mitch something. I forgot his last name, but he's a power threat going forward.
Yeah.
The reason why I like the Diamondbacks crop of young outfielders is that all three of them, they hit from the left-hand side, right?
Yes, we need lefties.
We need lefties in this lineup. And when you look at the history of the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, there was a trade that the Yankees and the Diamondbacks made years ago when it comes to Didi Gregorius. And at
Yeah.
the same
Oh my
time,
God.
the
What a name.
Diamondbacks, they were flush with shortstops. They had Didi, they had Dansby Swanson, and they had Rich Owens. They decided to go with the Owens kid who nobody has ever heard of afterwards or whatever, but they
They
traded
gave up
both
D.
Didi
Gregorius, who was a
and Dansby
25 home run
Swanson.
guy, and Dansby
And
Swanson,
Dansby Swanson, who's a
who's now
World
making
Series shortstop.
$160 million a year, or not a year, total.
Yeah.
God, what a name D. Gregorius is, man. I remember trading for him. He was one of my favorite
McCarthy,
Yankees.
that's what it is. Mitch McCarthy.
Yes,
McCarthy. I would rather have McCarthy than Thomas because McCarthy is a power threat. Thomas is a leadoff hitter.
Dalton Varsho is another good guy that he brought up. He also catches too.
Mm-hmm.
He catches as well, and he's weird. He catches and plays the outfield.
Yeah, and like Pinstripe says, Florio will be gone to make room for Reynolds. Absolutely. Whatever trade that comes around, I think Estevan Florio will be a prospect that will be put in that trade, whether it's a trade for Brian Reynolds or whether it's a trade for Vorso, McCarthy, or Thomas, whichever ones.
If we end up trading Florio to Pittsburgh, that they're going to make the Yankees AAA team. They're going to have Andor. They'll probably end up having Correa too.
Mm-hmm. That would be they also have that starting pitcher Rusney Contreras who came from the Yankees in the Clay Holmes deal.
God, they have Hoy Park too. That is literally going to be this
baby Yankees. That's a baby Yankees team right there. But Carl said Pirates only want pitchers. Yeah, so we will have to start looking at either Domingo Germán, either Clark Smith.
I would give him Clark Smith.
I would give them both Clark Smith. If you give them Clark Smith and Domingo Germán, those two pitchers become like probably the top three best pitchers in that rotation because that rotation is nothing to write home about. But Clark Smith, Domingo Germán, that's just from the major league level. But then
I think if we can give them a package looking something like Schmidt, Germán, Peraza, and Florio, I think that would be a pretty solid deal. That could maybe be a starting point.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Caputo said Yankees are closing in on Brian Reynolds, according to Craig Carton last night. What he said, listen, I'm a big fan of Craig Carton. And Michael Caputo, just so you know, tomorrow on the next morning brew, we will have on Sonny Carton, the son of Craig Carton from WFAN. So Sonny actually has a spot on WFAN today. So make sure you guys go listen to my guy Sonny. But yeah, Sonny will be on with us tomorrow on the next morning brew. So make sure you guys tune into that because that's going to be a great conversation. And make sure if you guys can hit up Sonny while he's on. Hit up Sonny while he's on WFAN right now. Hit him up on Twitter and let him know that he's doing a good job. But Frankie, before we dip on out of here, and again, Frankie, thank you so much for joining me. If you're able to join one more time before you dip off back to school, I would love to have you back on. But what's your final closing statements before we dip out of here? It's on you, bro, because it's been a while. So I'm throwing it. The ball's in your court.
It's great to be back, of course. With Caputo, Mazza, all the guys. It's good to be back. I don't know, not much, man. Just missed it a little bit. I actually have a show like this on campus up at school.
Nice.
And we started a TikTok, and we have over 11,000 followers in 4 months.
Nice. Congratulations, bro. You, That's what's up. That's what's up.
Doing this over the summer, I was like, damn, I kind of miss talking about sports and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to. So my friend and I, just kind of hit it off. So this was a big reason I feel like we started that. So. So thank you for that, of course, because you kind of got me into talking. And yeah, I'm actually going to opening day, which is going to be a good time.
Nice. I'll be there for opening day also. Sure. So we're definitely going to link up like we did last time.
We'll be in the bleachers. That's where we'll be sitting.
Nice.
Me and my two friends I'm going with, we're like, if we sign Rodon, we're going to game 2 on Sunday and watching. And then we signed Rodon, and we're like, wait, that's a 4:05 game, and we go to school 6 hours away from New York City.
Mhm.
So that's probably not going to be in constraints with school, but let's just go to opening day. And
Mhm.
we were like, you know what? If we have enough fun opening day, you might say screw school and go on Sunday, but we'll see. But no, that's going to be fun. I've never been to an opening day. I went to game 2 last year against the Red Sox, but never an actual opening day. So
No,
that's
I've never been to an opening day, so this is gonna be my first opening day as well. Frankie, again, brother, appreciate you joining with me this morning. And to speak to your friend, if you guys want to come on before you guys head back to college, come on to the Yankees Morning Brews so we can talk Yankees. You guys are more than welcome to. You know, we do the open panel here. We have different people on. So if you and your buddy from school, if you guys want to jump on, you're more than welcome to. Frankie, just let me know and we'll set it up. Yeah, definitely. But guys, this has been another amazing episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Just so you guys know, the Thursday before New Year's, we will have an open panel. So it's going to be an awesome open panel. Make sure you guys tune in. But like always,
I'll hop on a couple more times.
Yeah,
I'll be in Florida. Leaving for Florida the 28th, so you guys can see the nice golf course again.
Yeah, because Frankie always loves going on vacation. That's one thing about Frankie. He always loved going on vacation. But guys, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow to Get Yanked NYY News TV. It's going to be an awesome show. And like always, a peace out. Deuces.
See you guys.
I see you in 3D. The dawn is bright for me.